you walk back. It was the walk that was the adventure, and you went exploring down Dead Man's Trail, and we went up to the monument, which was funny because we had the monument in Charlestown too, because Howland's Lane, the main drag in here, is named for John Howland, the pilgrim, and where his home was up on Howland's Lane, there is a stone monument. So anyway, when there sometimes would be nothing to do, we would watch the older boys play ball in the hoop, wiffle ball, and the sport of kings here in Rocky Nook. The wiffle ball was invented by a guy from Connecticut. His name is Mulaney. His son still runs the wiffle ball business. Back when I used to run the Horrible Parade, I would order directly from him and actually talk to Mr. Mulaney's son in ordering, because I'd be ordering like 72 wiffle bats and balls, so I wouldn't buy them in a store. That was a highly sought after prize. Anyway, so they would be playing ball in the coop, and if there was nothing to do, I'd be like, oh yeah, let's go watch the guys play ball in the coop. And Maureen would always try and guess who I wanted to see. And she never guessed her own brother, because you never profit in your own town. So she could never imagine that it was her brother that I wanted to see, because that's the way that goes. So, anyway. So I meet him, I tell him I was in love with him. He laughs, but we date, and after a very short whirlwind romance, we marry in June of 60. As a matter of fact, 60, yes, of course, because I'm a million years old. In June of 1980, we married on D-Day, on a singularly beautiful Friday, June 6th, 1980. So this coming Sunday is my 30th wedding anniversary. Unfortunately, is marred by the fact that I got divorced a bazillion years ago. So my aunts teased John that I only married him because who else would live in Rocky Nook with me in the winter? And he took it in. He was a good sport. He still is. He's a good sport. He's a good egg. So we marry in 80. We have Tommy in 81. And July 1st of 1982, we buy the Hill House. Because that's the other thing about Rocky Nook. It's rather incestuous. People more than know their neighbors. There's a lot of in-marrying. For example, I, one of the Kelly girls, married a Miller boy, and we moved into the Hill House. Edie and Elma Hill lived in that house from like the 1930s to the early 1970s, or late 60s. And then it sold quickly to a young couple who in turn sold it quickly to the Dennisons. And the Dennisons sold it to us in 1982. So I have been there all that time. And Jennifer, who is 9 years younger than me, felt about the Nook the same way I did. As my mother says, we are her twins, born 9 years apart. So, once she was successful enough to be looking at property, it was right before 9/11. And I can remember we came to the open house in August 2001, and here's something weird. You have an open house, your neighbors are going to come look, but here in Rocky Nook, it's your neighbors. You can't even pretend that they're doing anything other than just being nosy and poking through your house. So of course I felt so strange coming in here, and I said to everybody we saw, Jennifer's really thinking about buying this, In other words, I'm not just being nosy, because I don't go to the open houses. It's, my mother raised me to be very mind your own P's and Q's. So anyway, Jennifer put in an offer, and it was accepted, and shortly after 9/11, she moved in here. And she's been very happy, and I've been very happy here. We're 800 feet apart I am back up the hill. Right now, as I sit here, and the sun is on me, and it's really, really quite a wonderful feeling. I'm very happy and content here. I hope to spend a lot of time here in the next few weeks, as well as, all my travels. Because it's just nice. It's beautiful, it's restful, and I love this smell. To me, this is the smell of the ocean. And it's funny, when I speak to the favorite naval consort, he tells me that sailors call this the smell of land, because what it is it's the smell of being close to the shore, where the ocean meets the land. That's what it's the smell of. So, noisy truck going by. But, sad to say, like my house up the hill is gone. This will soon be gone. Jennifer's selling because, of course, she got her fantastic job offer in New York. And we're bummed out, but we're both, moving into new phases of our lives. This job offer is really good for her. And as much as we would have hoped she might be able to manage both this house and the apartment in New York, that just isn't doable. So this house is for sale, and this is the prime selling season. And here we have the downside of living on the waterfront. Yeah, I'm not exactly a dog lover, but I think even some dog lovers think this is gross. This grass embankment from the street to the water is, for some people, their giant litter box for their animals. Oh, back when I was an officer of the Beach Association, I used to basically speak to people about this. And I love the defense that they scoop it up. Whatever, go scoop it up in your own yard. Anyway, when I was little, we ran barefoot over there. Now, not so much. So anyway, I want to enjoy this house, the setting, the beach, as much this summer as I can, before I go back to the city to my cold winter. That's what I'm thinking. It's going to be a cold winter. Because the one thing Jennifer and I aren't alike in, it's our feeling about temperature. I mean, most people think it's funny that I like things cold. Jennifer likes things frigid. She's, I don't know, got some Eskimo blood in her somehow. And when I'm in chemo, I like the cold even less. But that's okay, because I'm going to be staying with my parents, and Muriel, my mother, has no blood, so it'll be toasty warm. But I'm thinking I will view this as a very cold winter. But that is far, far in the future. For now, what matters is here, and sitting here with my cup of tea and enjoying the view and getting a little sun. Maybe this weekend I will sit here, I will drag the laptop out, because this awesome tree next door at the Hayes that shades one part of it nicely. And I'll arrange myself so that I can stick my legs out in the sun and keep the laptop in my head in the shade, and I will write my serious posts that I'm slacking on. So, anyway, this is the view from Jen's deck.